Hello, my name is Melissa Daniels and I have strabismus. Strabismus is when you don't have great depth perception because your eyes aren't pointing in the same direction, and so your brain is really only using one eye at a time. Now, this can create a lot of different difficulties, and in this video, I'm going to tell you 10 different things that you might be doing in everyday life, and you might be thinking that there's something wrong with you, but really, it's just your eyes and the depth perception that's creating this problem for you. Before we jump into that, make sure you go over to learn.strabismussolutions.com to take the free quiz, figure out what the next steps are for you with working on your own vision issues. It is a great quiz. It's very interactive. It helps you kind of guide you towards whatever the solution is going to be for you. You can also get access to my courses or schedule a Zoom call with me there. All right, let's take a look at the 10 things that are more difficult when you have strabismus. This video came about because I've been doing this confidence with strabismus course with a group of people, and I created this course. It's still available. And one of the biggest things that people were learning was like, oh, I thought that was just me. I didn't realize that was a strabismus thing. And I thought, oh yeah, that's totally related to your vision. And so I decided I would create a list so that if you are wondering if you're the only one who struggles with this, you will know that you are not. So the first thing that is more difficult is night driving. When you're driving at night, it's really difficult when you have strabismus for one big reason, and that is that because we were only using one eye, when we learn how to judge depth, we use a lot of cues that have nothing to do with Strabimsus, with the eyes doing all the math. We use things like shadows and size differences. The fence posts close are big, the fence posts far away are small, motion, parallax, all of these things we're using to judge the depth. And so when you go out at night, most of those things go away. You don't get the motion, you don't see shadows and size differences. And so when it's dark, you lose a lot of your ability to judge depth. And that's why driving at night is so difficult when you have strabismus. Second, this is also with driving. It's really difficult to judge how far away a car is in front of you. So if you've ever been a passenger and there's somebody, pretty far ahead of you and they slam on their brakes or just start slowing down and you feel like you're about to hit them and you scream and jump and grab the person driving, they say, what are you doing? Like, they're so far away still. This is a very common experience that I think it's even more frequent among people with strabismus, again, because it's just judging that depth with the lights. It throws off our depth perception, makes it more difficult to judge the depth. All right. Third, if you are into DIY and you are putting in screws with a drill or you're trying to hammer in a nail, if you find that yours are always, so here's your surface and you're always like this and you have a hard time getting it straight in, I had no idea. I'm like, why is this so hard? It's because we're only able to see it from one angle. We're not using the angle from both eyes to get that straightened up. And so we're only lining it up maybe on the X plane or the Y axis plane or Z, right? We're not lining it up on all the planes at the same time because we can't see all the planes at the same time. And so that's why it's so difficult to get that in straight. Another one is ball sports. Mostly we're talking tennis, baseball, and like a pickleball or something like that. Anything where you are trying to hit a ball with another object. Those are the ones that seem to be the worst for people with strabismus. Obviously, like swimming, running, those kind of things are not a problem, right? It's not an athleticism problem. It's a depth perception problem. And so when the ball is coming towards you, when they say, keep your eye on the ball, and you're like, what in the world? Like, that's impossible. I'm here to tell you that when you're only using one eye, it's like a blur. And when you're using both eyes, it like slows down and it's like so much easier. I had no idea that this was a strabismus thing. So that's a big one, is ball sports. That is like universally, we all have stories. If you have strabismus, you've got stories about having to play baseball in PE growing up and just like, how can I get out of this, right? You're not alone. We all are there. Okay, another one is driving in the rain. Why is that? For me, it was because when I'm looking through the windshield, I see all the rain at all the depths, right? From the rain that's like right in front of me until the rain that's like further away. It all kind of compounds and just looks like a big wall of rain. And so our eyes aren't able to kind of see around those raindrops, if that makes sense. It might not make sense if you're seeing that way, because you're like, well, yeah, that's just how it is. But once you're actually able to use both your eyes together, you can kind of see through the rain and around the rain, and it makes it so much easier. Another one, stairs, especially the stairs with the slots in between. The way that the light hits those, it messes with the shadows. And when like I was saying, we judge depth using like shadows and all those distances. Well, when you're in a new construction house and you've got the stairs are open with the slots going through, the shadows get all distorted and weird, and it's really hard to tell where the steps are using our normal depth cues. And that's why that is so difficult for people with strabismus. I've found myself like sitting down and like being really careful going down, or like metal stairs where there's nothing in between. It's just like a metal frame. Those ones can be really hard because our normal depth cues just aren't there. Okay, I had to do a funny one for states. Okay, that's just hard because you're like overthinking it, and you're like, are they worried about my eye? And it's just difficult. Okay, it's hard, and it is universal. When you have strabismus, it's hard. It's like, are they going to judge me for my eye turn? Are they going to not want to be my friend? Are they going to, say something or, be distracted? And it just, so it's more difficult. It is. I'm just going to give it to us, guys. And we do it, and we do hard things, and it makes us stronger, but doesn't mean it's not harder. Okay, I'm just looking at my list. Oh, painting. This is one that came up that I hadn't thought of before. But if you're like painting a room and you're trying to get into the corner, I find myself like with my face against the wall trying to like see the edge, because my brain isn't doing the calculations to find that depth. And so I'm trying to like see it from other angles. Trying to use one eye from a bunch of different angles to piece that together instead of using both eyes and just seeing it all at once. And so that can be really difficult, trying to get that straight edge, because your depth, like how far do you need to push the paintbrush against the wall? Are you getting at that exact right depth? That's really hard to see when you're only using one eye at a time. And last, this is one that is just, it's silly, but like tweezing eyebrows, okay? You're looking in the mirror, you're trying to do it, and before I did vision therapy, I would have to, it's kind of like with the painting, put my face against the mirror to like really try to like get the light, like so I could actually see where the eyebrow was that needed to be plucked out, right? And that's really difficult because mirrors kind of throw off our depth perception. People with strabismus usually see themselves on the mirror. And if you have depth perception, you're going to actually like see yourself through the mirror, and you like see a reflection of the whole room. And there's actually like space there. And so again, it just is like really distorted if you're only using one eye. It's hard to see that. It's just really hard. So if you're like, man, why are my eyebrows so difficult? That could be it. It could be the strabismus. Just knowing like, okay, parallel parking. I didn't mention that one, but like some of these things are just that they are going to be a struggle if you have strabismus. And what I talk about in the confidence course is just getting down to the truth of the matter, right? Not trying to be like, oh, I'm just bad at everything. It's like, no, I don't have depth perception the same way other people do. That's why some of these tasks are more difficult. Like, I'm pretty fast and I can like exercise and do all this. I'm fit and healthy, but yeah, I can't hit the baseball very well, right? That's part of strabismus. And so you just have to like, that's the acceptance part. You have to just say, okay, there's some things I'm just not going to be as good at. And I can have some compassion for myself, like, that's kind of disappointing. I'm kind of sad about that. And also, like, I wonder what I'm better at because I have strabismus. So if you want to go more into that, definitely head out over to the Confidence with Strabismus course over at learn.strabismussolutions.com. We dive way deeper into this concept of acceptance and just really still living your fullest life, even with the limitations that we have when we have strabismus. So I hope you learned something new. If you have anything else to add, put it down below in the comments, because I'm sure I missed so many things that are more difficult because we have strabismus. We'll see you in the next video.